What is going on, everybody, and welcome to another installment into the extraordinary life of Emon. I am your host, and today we're going to go ahead and discuss the Greenwood Indiana Mall shooting and how it actually is going to affect the discussion associated with gun control in this country. But before we get into any of that, please do me that favor, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a wonderful comment down below. That being said, let's go ahead and get into it. So let me give you guys a quick synopsis of what happened. A 20-year-old male who was armed with 2 rifles and 1 pistol and approximately 100 rounds of ammo arrived at the Greenwood Mall. He entered the mall and he went immediately to the bathroom. When he was in said bathroom, he waited approximately an hour, possibly prepping and preparing for what he was about to do. When the subject exited the bathroom, he was in front of the food court. He entered said food court and the subject immediately began to shoot what appeared to be random people who were dining in said food court. Now, this is the part where the story actually gets a lot better and actually changes for the better, because there was an additional male within the mall who happened to be armed. It was a 22-year-old male. He was there, he was in the mall, he was shopping with his girlfriend. He heard the shots going off and he immediately responded to the active shooter incident. The Greenwood Police Department was also notified and was en route to the scene. However, he was significantly closer because he was obviously inside the mall. He responded and engaged the assailant. Not only did he engage him in gunfire, he killed him right then and there and put the incident to rest. Approximately 24 rounds were shot by the offender and approximately 10 rounds were shot by the bystander. At one point, according to the report, they were shooting at each other. The 22-year-old male got the upper hand. He was able to get on target a lot better than this subject and was able to kill him before he could flee back into the bathroom. Now, unfortunately, prior to him arriving and engaging the subject, 3 people had already been killed and 2 others had already been injured as a result of the shooting. But this could have been a lot worse. Eventually, the Greenwood Police Department did actually arrive on scene and did take command and control over the incident. The Greenwood Police Department is currently conducting an active investigation into the incident. However, the agency has already deemed that this 22-year-old bystander did absolutely nothing wrong and he was being considered to be a hero as a result of his actions. I totally agree with that, and sir, if you're out there, I'm not going to put your name in this video, but I do salute you and I am very grateful to have you in our community. What he did was an outstanding act of bravery. It takes a lot to respond to an active shooter incident. To hear those shots going off and to step into that role takes a lot of bravery and or courage. Moving on, the shooter was identified as 20-year-old Jonathan Spearman. There was no motive or anything like that came to this incident, hence why they're still investigating said incident. No one knows what exactly happened. No one knows if he suffered from mental illness. All of this is still being investigated, thus hasn't really hit the internet yet. Again, although the offender was able to fire 24 rounds and kill 3 people and injure 2 others, it's crazy because remember, he had approximately 100 rounds, could have continued to shoot. This type of incident is going to be an open and shut kind of case. This is exactly how we want to see this happen. This is why people have firearms. This country doesn't have a gun control problem. This country has a people problem. The 22-year-old bystander who responded legally owned that weapon and was able to stop a major incident. This is a very, very big thing when it comes to the discussion of gun control in this country. In my opinion, I'd even say that this even brings about a new argument because a legal gun owner, someone who has not had formal training, someone who is not law enforcement, actually intervened and stopped an active shooter incident prior to law enforcement arriving at the scene. In this situation, it was the best outcome that would have occurred. In fact, if you really want to think about it, he actually prevented the deaths of additional people because law enforcement would have had to get there, get set up, get out of the car, address the threat, and then potentially neutralize the subject. He was already there. As soon as it started, he responded. It was only 2 minutes in. You know, obviously active shooter incidents should not happen. We don't want them to happen. But if they do, when they do, this is the outcome that we would hope occurs. hard. I love it. Like I said, it's a new argument to be had because it can be argued that taking away all the firearms would be a bad thing, because this incident serves as proof that it is possible to have good outcomes associated with gun ownership and allowing citizens to own guns. I know the Second Amendment's in place and they'll never actually get rid of gun ownership. However, this sets the stage for some of those gun control lobbyists to take a step back, because I don't know if you guys noticed, but it appears to be that a lot of the gun control legislation is reactive instead of proactive. Again, look over here while something else is happening over here. That seemed more or less what was going on. Or respond to all the school shootings by taking away all the guns. No, that's not a solution. That's a reactive approach when we should be proactive. So what I'm saying is the argument now could be made that instead of taking all the guns away, maybe we should transition more towards education and training associated with firearms so people, regular citizens, can obtain, learn in a safe manner. I think that this is the beginning of a change. Furthermore, just in case you didn't know, the Supreme Court just sent down a ruling concerning the Second Amendment right. This case was actually started because in New York you had to express a need to own a firearm, to have one, to walk around, to possess, to conceal one. You had to get a special permit. However, there were no guidelines associated with getting it. There was no way to get it. You would have to be like a private investigator or the victim of a crime or something like that. You can own one in your home, but you couldn't take it out of your home. You couldn't walk around with it. So the law was actually challenged and it went all the way up to the Supreme Court, who then ruled on it saying that no, they're in the wrong. In a nutshell, what this did alongside with this incident, I'm trying to tell you guys, things are gonna change. The gun control discussion is not over by a long shot. The Greenwood Police Department is still currently investigating it, so it's not a lot of information out there. However, it was resolved. The incident was done. Only 3 people were killed and 2 others were injured. But nevertheless, what do you guys think? Let me hear it down in the comments below. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my video. If you can, do me that favor, like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That all being said, this has been another installment into the extraordinary life of Emon. I've been your host, and I'll definitely see you on the next one.